it's very easy for you to get a student job. But the only issue might be the flexibility of your studies. Like, do you have times in the evening, maybe for the kind of job you want to do? So I think that might be dependent on that, like how demanding your schoolwork is.
Hi guys, hi, hello, hi, hello. Today I have with me Nsongurua Willie. She's here to share with us like more about life in France, specifically Paris. Okay, she's going to share her journey with us. So if this is like the very first time you're bumping into like any part of the video in this series, you'll be wondering what is lenses like, what is it really about? It helps you to kind of like make the decision if you're considering moving abroad for studies. This is kind of like to help you make the decision on the country that kind of like fits. Oh, where should I move to? Like, is it Italy? Should I move to France? Wherever you're considering moving to. So, through this series, international students from all walks of life get to come on to share their experience and help you to kind of like see life in the countries that they are living like currently in. Okay, so I'm just going to allow her to introduce herself. Please introduce yourself.
Hello, everyone. My name is Nsongurua Willie. I'm Nigerian, and I currently just finished my master's in sustainable industrial engineering at Grenoble INP in the southeast part of France. So yeah, that's me.
Okay, so how long have you been in France? When did you move to France?
Okay, I actually came to France September 2021. So it's been 2 years since I came to France. I've been in France for 2 years.
Wow. Okay, 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 okay. So thank you for introducing yourself. We are quickly going to move on into like the meat of the conversation. How easy was it coming to France? Like the application process, how was it like moving to pursue your master's in France?
Generally, for me, it was actually really straightforward. I think it's not just because I came on a scholarship. I actually came on a scholarship, but even applying, I had to apply by myself for the admission. It was actually straightforward, just the online application, and then for my course, we had an interview, and after the jury sat, I grabbed my admission letter. So it was pretty straightforward, even for the visa as well. It took 10 working days to get my visa. So yeah, it was actually straightforward for me coming to France.
Okay.
Mm.
Where did you get to know of the school? How did the decision to move to France come about? Is there a place particularly you know, for that, like maybe an app or a site that you can get all the information about coming to study in France?
As of then, although I did not really know about France, it was actually the UK I wanted to go to. So it was actually because of the scholarship I applied to. That's how I came to know about the school that I studied. So it was actually through the scholarship that I got to know about it. And but then if you like want to know more about France, like in terms of maybe the courses, that are like sites you could use to like search that, and that's like Campus France. You can actually like go there to look at courses, and another one is like find a master's. You could find a lot of courses, and I think it's just because as of then it was just through the scholarship only that I knew about it. Maybe that's why now I'm also like trying to make more videos on that, because I don't really see a lot of care about studying deep, apart from maybe from other countries, but from like Nigerians like me, like that, I don't really see a lot of that. So maybe that's why I started it. But mine was mostly through the scholarship that I got to know about my school.
Your school, okay, okay, okay. Just made mention of the fact that you came on a scholarship. I want you to share more on the scholarships available in France for like international students.
Okay. So the scholarships available, we have like the IDEX scholarship. IDEX, you find it in most of the polytechnics. The polytechnic are like institute that like special, maybe they specialize in a particular program or a particular area. So you find it there. But most like that IDEX scholarship is going to be when you're applying. That's when you'll be considered, because it's a school that decides. It's a school that propose the people. So you don't just like go directly to apply. It has to be through a school. Another one is also the Eiffel Tower Scholarship or Eiffel Excellence Scholarship. That one too, you can't still apply directly. It's still the school, so you still have to like apply to a school first, and then it indicates interest in the school that you like to be considered for this scholarship. Then we have, is it Book Me scholarship? It's Bougmy. So that one I can't really recall like how you go through it, but I know it's still part of it. And for all these ones, so they have some particular area that they like cover. Maybe it could be okay, engineering, health, and they will have like a list of certain areas they sponsor. So you have to like look at it. And then if you're like a Nigerian like me, you have like a PTD scholarship. So for any Nigerian, and then you also have like the Total Energy. That's the one I got. But as of last year, they did not have it. I don't know if for next year they're going to have it. But for mine, it was Total Energy scholarship. So I think those are like the five scholarships that I know of. But then apart from those scholarships too, sometimes the schools they do have some other internal scholarships that maybe they're not really so publicly known. So it depends. It will be like school dependent. Maybe they have some like funding for that particular department or for that particular course. You only know this if you are looking out to apply or if you have made efforts to apply. And even some of them, by the time we arrive, there's a possibility of you having like an exemption, but it's not like so certain for like all the courses. It depends on which school as well, and depending on the funding that they have in that school, that they can like have these exemptions for some students.
Okay, okay, okay. So with your particular scholarship, what was involved in it, like in the application? What field?
Okay, for mine it was engineering. But they still have
Okay.
like social sciences like finance. They still have they still have like finance in it. So but it wasn't like all the engineering that they covered. They like listed out the courses that they covered. For mine, I said like sustainable industrial engineering. So they that's the course, one of the courses that they sponsored. So it was mostly engineering that they did sponsor for my own.
Okay. Now let us talk about like student jobs. If someone had moved to France, like or someone is considering moving to France, how easy it is getting a student job in France while studying?
Mhm. I think it might be city dependent. Like if you're like in the Paris area, like you the France area, it's very easy for you to get a student job. But the only issue might be the flexibility of your studies. Like do you have times in the evening, maybe for the kind of job you want to do? So I think that might be dependent on that, like how demanding your schoolwork is. So but they're always like, for example, nanny jobs, they have like different associations, organizations that have this kind of organized enterprise that they do um give the services. So if you register with them, yes, you can have it. Then like in the southeastern part where they have like where it snows during the winter, they have like a lot of resorts and so on. So this kind of establishment, they normally need people during this period, like to help clean, help set up the places. And like restaurants and like supermarkets as well. But for the restaurants and supermarkets, you will at least need some level of French because you'll be communicating with locals coming to the supermarket or coming to restaurants. Yeah, but if you have some level of French, it will be easy for you to get something in the restaurants or in the
Okay.
supermarket. Yeah.
Let's talk about like general life in France. So what should people really kind of like expect? Like what were some cultural shocks that you had yourself after moving to France?
Okay, so the smoking. Yeah, so it's not so really common where I'm coming from. Other people smoke, but it's not so like in the open. Like coming here, I'm seeing even teenagers, little kids that are smoking, and even older ones that are smoking. So it was kind of a cultural shock for me. Another good I don't know if it's going to be a shock, is the fact that there are many organizations, associations that are out there trying to help students. Like, you have many associations that are sharing food for students, sharing things for students. And I'm like, wow, if I had these kind of things back in school, maybe to have helped to save some money, save some cost. But just in that there are different associations, people contributing to help to improve students' lives. I think that's another thing that I think it really is on the good part, and like life in general, that you have this little support. And even apart from that one, the housing as well, that I have like the government supporting some part of my house rent. It's another good and helpful thing for me. So these are just like some few things that I can mention right now about the life in general and the cultural shocks.
Okay, yeah, yeah, yeah. The next thing I wanted to talk about is like, expenses out in France, okay, in Paris, because I know expenses in maybe other parts of France might be different from Paris. So what are some of the, what are the expenses for students? If anyone is looking to move to France, what are the average expenses, monthly expenses, regarding housing, regarding transportation, feeding, and all of that?
Okay. So I think for my case at this moment, it's not going to serve as a good example. Seriously, because for mine is actually below average what I'm spending. Like it's not like it's a normal it's a normal, it's like mine is like a miracle. Because normally houses in Paris you are going to find it's going to be like maybe 600 euros
Mhm.
above and so on. But for mine, I was able to get like a social housing that's it's like part of a government housing, so it's kind of cheaper for me. I'm paying like 400 and something for quite a big space, so it's not like normal. So I'll say if we want to say that on an average, you should be thinking if you're not living like in a student accommodation, like you want to take out. I think even the student accommodation, some student accommodation I see that was like 500 something, 600. So let's use an average of 550 for your
I think
housing.
okay.
Yeah, but giving calf, that calf is going to help you, but it's not like immediately to start. So I don't know if you should use that right now because calf doesn't just happen immediately. And once you come newly, to take some time because you need your social security number, for example, you need some things from your house. So it might take like 3 months to 4 months before it's very well regulated. When you're like a first time or just coming into France, it might take quite a while. So let's say like this first few 3 months, expect like your house rent should be around 550 in Paris or in Ile-de-France. But outside Paris, it could actually be cheaper. I'm using Paris as a base. Maybe I'll talk about another part. But in Paris, let's say it's into like 550. And then your monthly transportation, because they have like zones. So if you want to like take for the whole zone and not just for like some parts of Ile-de-France, let's say for the whole zone, that's like 84 euros. So let's say that's already like going to 630 something, 630 something. And then let's say for your monthly feeding and maybe you want to buy some other thing, let's just say 200. I think maybe it's too much, but let's just say 200 euros. So that's like 800 and something. So I would say give or take 900 should be okay for you in Paris. That's if you're not going out too much. But if you are someone that likes to go out, you are ready to go out and spend because you always see those invitations. Trust me, when you're like in this region, there is always some friends. Okay, let's go and take a drink. Let's go buy this, buy that. So just expect maybe if you are into going out and you want to, you don't like, you don't hold back. You don't say no. You don't know how to say no. And you might actually have to spend up to like 8,000
Hmm.
in Paris. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, that's if you, like I said, no, I've given like different scenarios. If you like to go out, but by the time you enter the fourth month, you start having some benefit, like that accommodation. So it might actually like go down, and maybe you start having some sense now to say, okay, oh, we have to be coming down. So maybe you actually like spend less than that. Yeah, so that is just me saying you actually like try to spend less than that. Yeah.
Ah, yeah, okay, okay, okay. Then the next thing we're going to talk about, like briefly, is racism. I know racism is really a touchy topic, but then I feel like that is also something that is necessary that we talk about. People looking to move to study anywhere in the world will want to know how is the life like there? How do they treat people of different skin colors? Like, yeah, what is the situation with racism there? So I really want us to touch on that. What is the situation like in France? Has there been an instance where someone treated you poorly just because of your skin color?
Okay, personally for me, no, it has not happened. Personally for me, um, but I can say, okay, for example, where I was schooling at Grenoble, because it was like an international city, like had like a lot of internationals coming. I mean, they had like 8 different schools within just a little city, so I had a lot of international students. So at least in the school I was at, I normally see like even black persons taking like leadership positions in the school. So I think if that is possible, then I can't judge based on that. But I'll just say, based on the fact that even in the world we have good and bad persons. You always see some persons like that. I can only say based on some experiences, some persons have shared with me where maybe they worked in a place and they were not so welcomed, and they're just those indirect attitude that just does not sit well with you and just like points to something else. So that could actually happen. So just for you to know that sometimes even generally when the countries are welcoming, there could be some other set of persons that are actually against, and maybe because they don't have a big platform to show it in their own small corner where they have, we see them exhibiting this kind of threats. Yeah, it's actually possible. I'll just say in general, it's not so, because like we have lots of black persons here in France, like a lot of black persons, so it's generally not so, at least not directly or not so openly.
Yeah, that's actually true. So we're going to move on to the next section of the conversation. And if you're listening like so far at this point, you're still listening to the conversation, we'd like to say thank you. And like just let us know in the comments how this video is actually helping you make a decision on where you really like where to move for your further studies, either for your bachelor's or either for your master's or PhD. Help us know how this video is actually helping you. And then please, if you've not yet subscribed to our channels, go to Willie's channel and subscribe to know more about studying in France. And then do subscribe to my channel as well to know more about life and studying in Italy. So we are moving on with the conversation. How easy it is getting a job after graduation, because that is a thing too. And then how easy it is remaining in France after like university. Because so many people that are intending to Japan anywhere in the world to study, most people have intention of, majority of people don't have the intention of moving back. So the question like that is mostly on their mind is, okay, is it easy to remain in this country after school? Yeah, so that is something I also want us to really look at, how easy it is getting a job and how easy it is remaining in the country.
Okay, so I think what I always want to point out, because like some persons they just come to my channel and like say, and they ask some question like, oh, I'm coming to study this. I want to know if I'm going to have a job after. I'm like, I'm not the one giving out jobs. That question is just always like that kind of type of question is always funny. How they say, "Oh, is it like?" Okay, I'll just say like generally how it is everywhere, that there are always like competitions when you're looking for jobs. Like I'm always on LinkedIn. I'll see people from the states, wherever there's people are looking for jobs. You understand? It's always that competition because there could be someone with a better skill set than you. So there's always that competition. But the only difference I would say coming like traveling outside or like in this kind of environment is that they have a lot of industrial opportunities, that the opportunities are kind of like more, like there are a lot of opportunities maybe compared to somewhere else, that but you just have this a lot of opportunities, and companies are willing to hire and so on. I'll just say in France, remember I said the first time about the skill sets that you have. For someone that is doing coding, data related stuff and so on, that doesn't really need to talk to persons, I feel like the person has a lot of opportunities, because then language will not be a barrier for you. But then in some other areas that are like more common, that maybe you need language, you need to talk to people, then sometimes if you don't speak the language, it could be a barrier for you. For myself example, when I finished, by the time I finished my internship, I actually could speak some level of French, so I could actually do some interviews in French. So being that my CV was already in French and I could do interviews in French, I was having like interviews opportunities. You understand? I was being invited for interviews. So if I want to use my own experience, like of course it's not hard. You have interviews, you just have to choose the one that you like. Understand? So the ones that will come is not something that I really like, and I wanted like to go higher. But if to say I wanted like I just needed a job right now, I feel like I would have gotten something like long before. Maybe I won't have ended up being happy with it because it's small or something. I don't know. But maybe we are different. But I'll just say that if you can speak the language and you have the right skill set, then there are always going to be these opportunities that are going to come your way. You always see them. There are a lot of those openings. So the only thing that sometimes limits people is maybe they don't speak the language. That's always the thing, because in France, if you don't get into an international company, that's the team that you are going to, majority of them they speak English. It could be a barrier. You understand? It's not like people have not gotten into jobs without speaking French, but they have. But I'm just saying, just to have more opportunities and more options, just to have the um the allowance of choice of saying no to people. I feel like it's really important that you be open to the language. So if you have the language and you have these things, it's actually really easy for you to get something. Yes, it is. You are going to find something your way. Seriously, it's just a matter of time. I think that's just what I
Oh,
can say with that.
okay, okay. And then is there a clear path for you to actually remain in France after studies? Like,
Is there
oh,
one?
after, is there a clear path for you to remain in France after studies?
Yeah, because after you're done with your studies, you have like for depending on your country, some countries they actually have more. Like maybe some French speaking African countries. I think maybe some of them they have like up to 18 months post study or 2 years post study. But it's dependent on country. Like India, they have like right now before they had 2 years, but right now they have 5 years post study. So like for Nigerians, I think Ghanaians as well, I'm not certain. They have like 1 year. So 1 year is like they call it APS that allows you to like look for job within that 1 year, like you have like a kind of student work visa kind of thing that allows you to look for a job and search. So when once you get your job, you just have to like change it to like a work permit. Work permit, if you have like a job that is paying you maybe below I think is it 41K annually, you have like a yearly renewing work permit and at some point it's like 5 years or so. But if you have a job that is paying you above 41K a month, sorry, a year, you'll be given like a talent passport for which lasts for like 4 years. And then after that, when once you're in France for like up to 5 years, you can actually start processing the citizenship in France. When once you're up to 5 years, or you get a permanent residence permit of like 10 years. So that's
Ah,
the different parts.
the different parts. Oh, okay, 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 okay. And just like you mentioned here, like after 5 years, after you convert to the work permit, after 5 years of you having entered into the territory legally and having residence, you can process your permanent residency. And then, if you stayed in the country for 10 years, you can process your citizenship.
I
So
think
that is like the clear part
even before 10 years, like from 5 years, you can actually start. It's either you process the permanent residency or your citizenship from 5 years.
in France.
Mm.
That's actually good.
And from five
Yeah.
years, you can process your. Just make sure you have all the requirements needed. Yeah, but from
Um,
5 years, after you're stayed from
uh,
5 years, you can actually
okay, okay. Here
like
is 5 years.
like 3 more to go. So
Yeah, 5 years. It's 5 years that you can, process the permanent residency, and then after 10 years, continuous stay before you can process the citizenship. Would you say France is a place for study and work? Like, would you recommend it to international students looking to study abroad based on experience?
I mean, if for studying abroad, yes, I recommend France. I mean, I have a channel preaching that, so I recommend France. Actually, I recommend because I mean it's actually cheap. One, that's what I recommend. Like for me, I'm not someone that is in for taking like big loans. I don't know how you be sleeping. Like for other persons, that's not a problem. This is just my own personal perspective. It might not be the same for you. Maybe you don't have any issues borrowing like 20,000 pounds. It's okay. Me, it's not. So if yeah, if for in terms of affordable education and then some other supports, at least you have some support from the government. I feel it's actually great. Like I'm literally not paying anything for my health right now. I'm having free health, so I think it's actually great for in terms of that and this little that support. Then in terms of like work life balance is actually great. The only challenge is when you're studying and working. That might not really okay. Studying and working is like you're studying full time and working. It might not be possible for you to because the school year in France is not like a business. It's like when you're going to study, you're studying. You must
Mm.
acquire a skill. It's not a business. It's not like you just pay money and they just come once in a week and that's like full time studies. Then it's not impossible for you to do that. You're coming here to gain skills, okay? So you can only work like maybe after school hours or during weekends. That's when you can work. But they have like a program that's it's like a part-time study. It's like it's not a full-time, it's work and study. So with that one, it's like a company that is hiring you, but then you are studying. So they sponsor you as well to study. You understand? So with that one, hey, you can really say you are really working, and because you are going to work more than you study, and depending on the level of education, if you're like on the high level of education, then the possibility of you working more than you study is going to be so high. But if just like maybe just starting, it might just be balanced a little. But yeah, that's another form that if you want to work and study, you can go through. It's called like apprentice alternance. That's what it's called. So yeah, I think that's just those two things. But if it's for recommending, yeah, I really recommend. Yeah, I really do.
Yeah, thank you for sharing that. And yeah, I also recommend coming to study in Italy. And just like Insugura mentioned, if you are here and you want to, like, you're looking to come into study and combine like working and earning a lot of money to take care of your entire generation back at home, like, then Italy is not the place for you. Because if you're looking to really generate a lot of money and also be able to study, like, it's actually really not possible. That is the reason why there are a lot of opportunities, like scholarship opportunities for students, so that you can study, like, calmly, because this the studies out here are really intensive. So you get access to all these scholarship opportunities to be able to study.
Mm,
Then you just do some one or two side jobs to be able to manage and all of that. But then if you're really looking to getting a job where you are earning a lot, then Italy might not really be the place for you. But then for studies, then obviously, yeah, do consider Italy, because the like the cost of tuition is actually really, really cheap compared to other areas in Europe. And then outside of that too, these scholarships are available to everyone, both like students within and students like outside, international students. So all of you have the opportunity to apply for these scholarships. So because of that, I highly would recommend like it to anyone that is looking to, move abroad for studies. So I hope so far, like, some of the things that we've actually discussed have helped you to kind of like, some way, somehow make a decision. Okay, where should I consider moving to? Would I consider moving to France for my studies, or would I consider moving to Italy? If you really want to know more about coming to study and all of that, do check out Nsongurua's channel to know more. And then if you're also looking to knowing more about coming to study in Italy, then do check out my channel to actually really know more and make a well-informed decision. So, lastly, before we end today's session, what would be your last words to anyone looking to move to France for studies? What would you like to tell them?
Hmm. I think I will say that I think like we have already mentioned in the course of the video that not everybody's journey or not everybody's experience is the same. So I don't think it's nice for you to just move to a country because someone else moved there and the person is succeeding. So me, I'm a Christian, so I'm going to use based on my own beliefs. So as a Christian, I think it's important that you pray, like just commit this journey into God and really be certain that okay, this is the right step for you, commit everything so that whenever a seeming challenge, I'm saying seeming challenge comes your way, okay, yes, this journey, I have committed it into the hands of someone greater than me, someone that does the end from the beginning, to just give you that reassurance to go through. So don't just like carelessly move, like don't just be in a hurry. So just leave where you are right now. Let it be like you mentioned, well informed and well thought about, prayed about, decision that you're taking. Mine, I moved because this was where funding came out for me, and it has been so great. I've had peace, so I know that I'm in the right place. You understand? I'm in the right place for me. So I think that you should do that, and also when you're thinking of studying abroad, you don't just have to like get stuck where you were before, like whatever you did in your bachelor's. If you feel like you have some other new dreams, maybe after you're done with school, you started getting interested in something else, it's okay. You can always change your course. You can always like look out for other opportunities because whatever you're doing is for the long term run. It's for your own happiness and what is going to be profitable for you in the long run. So you should try to, make research on this and be okay to try new things and go to new fields and new areas that you think that will be more better for you than where you're coming from. I think those are like those two main points. And another thing is just that it's not everyone that's going to get a scholarship. You understand? Like with one of my webinar recently, the lady, she mentioned that if you don't get a scholarship, doesn't mean you're not going to move forward. So try to see what other ways you could always move forward and try to have those other plans, the plan A, plan B, plan C, and see the ultimate thing is that you're going to develop, you're going to be better than you are going to be in a better place than where you are coming from. So I think that's just the better thing. So yeah.
Yeah, okay, okay. Thank you so much for sharing that. My last words to anyone looking to kind of like move to Italy is be open-minded. And just like Sungura shared, we all have different fates basically. People move to places and then they actually do well. Others move to that same place and they do not do well. So
Mm,
before you make any decision, like pray about it. And then outside of that, to have a plan. I feel like so many people just want to Japan because they are seeing people posting about the life in this place and you feel like, okay, this is the place for me. Make a
mm,
well-informed decision. Okay. So prepare financially, mentally, because I don't know, we really didn't speak much on that. But then life out here is really can really be lonely. Okay. So you need to prepare mentally, emotionally, all of the form of preparation that you need to prepare for before like coming out here, so that you don't come out here and like be like, oh, okay, is this how the life here is really about, and get like shocked or anything like that. So have a plan, pray about everything, and then be open-minded, be willing to I feel like when you're open-minded and you're willing to adjust to situations, any situation that you face, you kind of like you're able to move and adjust to it. So that is all I'll basically say. If you're looking to move abroad, if you're looking to move in abroad, and you feel like that is the thing you want to take in the next step, definitely do take that move, do take that decision, but then be well informed so that you make the right decision. And then, should you move anywhere else and feel like it's not working for you, you are free to move to somewhere else again. I feel like you don't need to get stuck anywhere. If it's not working for you, regardless of how it's working for the people around you, please pray about it, be led, and move to a different place. That's all I'll basically say in this session. So before we end, please can you drop your details so that people that feel like, oh, I really want to come and study in France and I want to know more information, so that they'll be able to go to your channel, be able to reach out to you and ask more information. So can you drop your details?
do you want me to type it or something?
No, no, no. Just like your IG, mention IG.
Okay.
I'll leave it
Okay.
in the description as well.
All right, so my name it's already written there on the screen. That's just my name. If you search it, you're going to see it on YouTube, and that's my channel. And you can always reach out to me on Instagram. It's still the same name. You reach out to me there. And even right now, currently, I'm having like these free 30-minute sessions on Saturdays and Monday evenings, like for persons that maybe just have some questions, or you have been trying to use the French website, and it could be quite confusing. You can always just book a slot there with me, 30 minutes. Right now it's free. So you can book and ask me whatever you want to ask me, whatever, wherever you're stuck in. So just all of that is on my channel. When you look at the about, you are going to see it there. So I think from there we get in touch.
In touch. Okay, okay. So, guys, if you know, just like she mentioned, do reach out to her, subscribe to her channel, follow on Instagram, and reach out to her. Like, if you have any form of information that you want to know. And then, just like she said, there's a free 30-minute session. Grab it like that, and go ask her all the questions you have in mind. And then you can also, connect with me. Like, my YouTube channel is here, as you can see via Anne. So
Subscribe, engage, share, comment. Thank you.
subscribe, and then you can also follow me on IG at it's just Anne. Yeah, basically it's just IG and then here. So basically that is it for today's video. Thank you for sitting through the entire video. I hope you've gained a whole lot that will help you make a well-informed decisions. So thank you for joining today's episode. I'll see you again in the very next episode with another guest. So bye. Ciao.
Bye.
Thank you.